Hi, welcome to the Toy Car Lab instructional video part 1. In this video, I will go over how you're going to collect and graph data for this lab, how to get into the data itself, how to read the data, and how to create a spreadsheet, a graph, and then the equation of a line on that graph. So you will be assigned one of these instructional videos, and you can choose, or you'll do the one that you need to do, and you'll click it. So let's say toy car number 1. I will just start there, and it'll bring it up eventually. And you can see that as I play that video, our car is moving across the screen, and there's a timer up here, and there is a distance scale that's over at the bottom so that we can read its position at any given time. The position scale is in centimeters. So as the time clicks by, the time is our independent variable. It's just going to keep on going. That we want to have on our x-axis when we graph. And then position or distance we want to have on our y-axis because that depends on the time. That's our dependent variable. Our scale here is in centimeters, and let's create a spreadsheet so that we can do that. So I'm going to move that back to 0, and let's go and make a spreadsheet. So what you're going to do is go to Drive. So you go to your Drive and open that up. I would create a new folder, if you haven't already, for each class. This will help you keep your work organized so that as you create documents and graphs and things like that for various classes, you can put them right in that folder. You do that by clicking on Folder. You can name it, call it AP Physics, whatever, whatever class you're in, and then go to Google Sheets. So once you've created your folder for the class, if you haven't already done that, go to Google Sheets and you're going to create a new spreadsheet. There we go. So let's title our spreadsheet once it's done loading. So you can click up in the title here, and I'm going to call it Toy Car Lab. And then I'm going to create my columns for my data table. You can do these anywhere. You don't have to do it in the very corner, but I like doing it in the very corner. So I'm going to start with A1, and I'm going to call this time. And our units were in seconds. And then our next column is position or distance. And that was in centimeters. If you write it and you discovered that you made a mistake, it won't let you edit it in this box, but you'll notice that everything that's in the box comes into this bar right here. This is the editable bar. So if you needed to change something, you could, and then it will change it in the box. So I know when I started using spreadsheets, that was really annoying because I couldn't figure out how to change stuff. If you put the x-axis independent variable first, then it will graph it the right way. So usually it's x, then y. So our independent variable, dependent variable. If you put them backwards, you can still fix that when you do your graph. So it's okay, but it's easier if you do it x then y. So now let's go back to our video and get some data. At 0 seconds, our car is right here. We need to decide where we want to take our readings for our car. So you could use the back wheel if you want to do that, or you could use the very front of the car. I think I'm going to use the front of the car because I like that. But you could use the back of the car or the middle of this wheel if you want to do that, but somewhere where it's easy to read the data. So each one of these big lines here is going to be 10 centimeters. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then each one of these little lines, there are 10 of those in between. So each one of those is worth 1. So this is 10 centimeters, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I think my car's beginning, like the front of the car is at 18 centimeters. And so when I go back to my spreadsheet, my time is 0, and my position, my distance is 18 centimeters. If I type in the centimeters here, it treats that like a word, and then you can't actually graph it. So you want to have just numbers that are inside the boxes. So I just want that to be an 18. The centimeters goes for everything in that column, so you don't need to rewrite centimeters over and over again. Same thing goes with seconds. So then we go back to our video and we'll hit play for a little bit and we'll stop it. You don't have to have your times at even intervals or anything like that. You can just read whatever time it stops on and use that. At 0.9 seconds, I'm at 10, 20, 30, 40, looks like 43 centimeters. So 0.9 and 43. And you're going to go ahead and get 7 or 8 data points. So 1.5 looks like 61. This is 61, so 1.5 seconds and 61. And I'll do one more and then show you how to do the graph. So 2.5 and see, that's 50, 60, 70, 90. Looks like 91. So 2.5 and 91. Cool. All right, so, and you'll have more data when you do this. To make a graph, the next step is to highlight everything you want graphed, and that includes the titles of your of the columns of your data table. So we highlight the whole thing. We're going to go to Insert, and then you're going to insert a chart, and it will take it a second. There we go. There's our chart. Beautiful. It will usually default to giving you a line chart. We don't want a line chart. So if it gives you this, don't do that. Change it to a scatter chart. Scatter chart is what we want to have, where it shows you the actual dots on your line. The next step is to change the title. So I'm going to move my face. To do a new title, we're just going to click on the title. And then I want to do something more descriptive than what it says. You can see we've got our y-axis, we've got our x-axis, they're labeled with units. Yay, that's what we should have. But we need to have a title that really says more than just that it's a position versus time graph or a distance versus time graph. We want to have a title that tells us the more pertinent information. So I'm going to say that this is video number 1, red car, moving right. And then I can format that title. So I can make it bolded. I can center it so it looks a little nicer. I can change the color since it's red. I'm going to make it red. Then that gives me a good title. Next step, I need to make the line, best fit line. So in order to draw best fit line, you're going to scroll down to where it says series. And then for series, we're going to click trend line. And then it draws us a nice line. Look at how straight that line is. That's pretty amazing. And you can change the colors and stuff like that if you want to as well for any of these things. Then we'd like it to also do the equation of the line. And in order to do that, that is going to be with label. So right under where we had our trend line, we're going to do label, and instead of none, we're going to use equation. And the equation goes right underneath our title, but they do it in a weird way. So instead of writing it as an equation of y equals mx plus b, they do it as just equals. So this is the y-axis, but equals, and then it will give you the mx plus b. The next video will show you what to do with this.